All right. All right. Blair, haven't seen you for a while.
Hi, Judy.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you again. Yes, I don't know where I've been. Maybe just busy.
Probably that's true. Yeah. Just like our friend Lois there. She keeps herself busy. Hi, Lois.
Oh, just a little. We've got to schedule another session.
Yes, please. Okay, you guys, be good now because the boss is
Here
here.
he is,
It's awful. This is, I just.
the DDR himself.
The boss isn't here. She's still in the house. She's still waking up.
Oh,
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, one and all. Good morning, Judy.
Right there.
I feel like I've said this before, but oftentimes when the show starts and I say good morning to everybody, I feel like the Romper Room. Do you guys remember? See, once upon a time, children, there was this show called Romper Room, and the host of the show always had a magic mirror that they would hold up and look at it and say, "I see Betsy and I see Bradley," and I'm like, how do you see all those people? Anyway, that's just a trip down memory lane for me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and good morning to all those people that we are live streaming out to on Facebook and YouTube and all points along the Amtrak Railway, all the way to. Did I tell you about my trip to Chicago? No.
No.
It was underwhelming. I am under the whelm of that trip, so I'm not sure that I have much.
Why is that? Why is it underwhelming?
Well, I'll be as kind and gentle as I can because I think that the people who work on that on those trains are fabulous people. They treated us very, very well. And did the best they could, but they made constant announcements along the way. Remember, folks, this is public transportation. Now, in case you can't read between the lines, that basically means the city bus. And city buses they're gross. I don't know. I was trying to find a really like you don't want to look too far into the details of what's under the seat or whatever. So that's what we were riding on for 3 or 4 days. My family, bless their hearts, have forgiven me already. So anyway, that was my trip. But all that is watered down the river, and we're here now. And good morning. Good morning. And by the way, let me just share these wonderful people with all the folks who are watching us. Good morning, wonderful people.
Good morning.
Yes. And for those of you who might be watching out there in live stream land, I'm the host, David-Dorian Ross, and this is the Tuesday Morning Flow Show. And today, excuse me, Diane is here, Diane from Montreal, because today is both International Library Workers' Day and I'm not quite sure, it's Let's Celebrate Poutine Day. So Diane is living up there in Canada. She's in Montreal, and she runs the whole library system up there in all of Canada. And so we always honor her when there's a library theme of the day. And then, how many people have never had poutine?
Never had what?
Poutine. It's basically chili cheese fries. For those of you who live in the South, it is the national dish of Canada. more or less. Yeah, it's what gets you through a cold Canadian winter, is poutine. Yeah, plop on your toque and go down to go down to go down to the store and get yourself some poutine. Anyway, but that is not what the theme of the day is today. The positive thought of the day today. For that, you're going to have to sit through the entire show and do our 15 minutes of flow together, and then I'll tell you what the positive thought is today. Okay? So you're stuck. And so, again, I jump ahead of myself for those people who are maybe new to the show today, maybe watching in. Kenny Daly says he has no audio. You guys can hear me though, because I can tell because you've laughed at one or two of my jokes. Of the 10 or 12 that I've made, you've laughed at one or two. So that's, as we know that. And they were forced. Well, I've embraced that. But that again is the nature of the generous group that we have here. That they do that for me. Well, I just want to clue in the people who might be new or might be wandering in by accident and going, what is all this falderall? It is 15 minutes of easy peasy lemon squeezy deliciousness called Tai Chi Fit Flow. We're going to do that in just a moment. I'm going to get up there and wander into that little movement space, and you guys can move into your movement space. Or not. You can just sit there. You can just sit there and follow us in the seated position. Either way. And then we're going to come back, and I have my positive thought, which currently is a secret, but I will reveal that after which. And then we're all going to get the hell out of here, and I'm going to go have granola and berries and yogurt. That's my plan. Or poutine. I haven't really decided yet. I might go the other way. I might go the other way. Anyway, let's just do it, shall we? Let me do a quick sound check here and see how the music sounds to y'all. Does that work?
It's a little low.
It's a little low. I don't want to go up too much because it might get louder as we go there. But you can still hear me.
That sounds good.
Okay. Super. All right. I'll join you out there on the dance floor. Good. Oh, you know what? I have to do this thing here. Oh, Judy already did it. Look at that.
Yeah. How about that?
How about that? How about that? All right. Well, as I always remind everyone, today, as with every day, you don't have to learn anything. You don't have to try to figure out what he's doing and get it right. You know, just do what you see. Have some fun with this. Dance a little. Just open up your heart and soul and body and mind. I usually start right here just because it makes me feel good, right? I feel like my heart is opening bigger and wider when I spread my arms out like this. And I breathe in deeply and open up the canal of my throat so that all my breath can come down into my body. And for just a minute, I open up my head, open up my mind, dump out all my thoughts, and then just soar higher into the air. Every breath takes me up into the stratosphere. Opening my arms like the great wings of a giant eagle. And then take those pinions and circle them into the center of my being. my heart. And still, with every beat of the wings going higher, the arms floating into the center, palms turned down, sinking the chi. Now, stay with me. One foot steps to the side. Don't care which foot. Yes, and then, rising and falling. It's the rhythm of the universe, the rhythm of the whole cosmos. Rising up and then falling down. First going one extreme and then returning through the pendulum swing to the other side. If you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes. Right? All right, floating back up, rounding the wings out to a big hug. Inhale and open. Embracing the moon. Catching moonbeams with your net. Lovely. And then stay with me as the fingertips drift back together, still holding on to the moon, but just in a different plane. And then letting the moon rise up overhead. And then tipping the moon over to the side, collecting moon drops as it drips out onto the side. I breathe out, and then breathing in, up and over the top to the other side, tipping the moon. Breathing out, breathing in, over the top. And then the moon drops are coming out of my elbow. So I'm going to let my elbow get a little heavier while the moon tries to escape out from the top of my head. Breathe in. Again, my elbow gets a little heavier. The moon a little lighter. Breathing out. Breathing in just up to the top. And here comes the moon. All the way down. All the way down. And back to the beginning, sinking the chi. Lovely. Still got the moon right here in the palm of my hands. Taking it from side to side. And then taking the moon and tossing it up over my shoulder. Called tossing the moon. Breathe in, and then breathe out. One more time. And then I'm just going to take the moon around and around, just cradling it in between the palms of my hands, and then up and over the top of my shoulders. They say that's how the moon gets to the night sky. A giant comes out, takes the moon out of a box, and tosses it up in the air. Last one. Lovely. The moon bounces, settling in the center, and back to the beginning, sinking the chi. Now the hands float up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and then slips off and slides down, descending the mountain. And then at the bottom, it starts all over again. Floats up to the top of the mountaintop and then slides off. It just slaloms down. I love that word, don't you? Slalom. Say that like 12 times in a row. Slalom, slalom. After a while, it sounds like you're saying something a little bit dirty. And then gather back up here. Slalom yourself. Very nice. And then the hands gather and float up, but just to the chest high. Big hug and open. And then scoop under. Step on out with me if you don't mind, and toss the moon away. Now, stay with me, because I'm just going to take my moon hand here and let it float across the sky, and then come back and catch another moon. Technically, this movement is called parting the horse's mane, starting right here, and then combing the mane out on the horse. Maybe it's a moon horse, though, you know? Could be. One more. And then sit on back and just take my moon palm and over back here. One time. And then step all the way in, if you don't mind. And once again, toss that moon over your shoulder. Gently place it back in the box. There we go. Because you never know, someday the moon keeper may knock on your door and say, I'm going on a train trip, but I need somebody to cover for me. Catch the moon, toss it up into the night sky, and when the night is over, You put it back in the box. One more time. Lovely. Just sit on back and let my moon hand drift across the night sky, back over here, catch a new moon. Step on in if you don't mind, tossing it up into the night sky. Like putting a baby to bed. One more. And then just sit on back and let my moon hand drift, but just to the middle. And then step on in with a big hug. Lovely. Inhale and open. And back to the beginning, sinking the chi. One more. Beautiful. Hands float up in front. Round out for a big hug. Inhale and open. And then I'm just going to take this one and let it just drop. It flops and floats over. Tick-tock like a pendulum on a grandfather clock. Tick-tock so high it runs into my other hand. Runs into my other hand, and then and finally my other hand gets unstuck, and lo and behold, there, the crane has spread its wings. Try that again. Here we are. One hand just flops down. Runs into my other hand and open. The crane spreading out his wings. All right, we'll take this side. Flop. It drops all the way over and runs into my other hand, and then here we go. I have no idea what that noise is supposed to represent, but it's and then opens. The crane spreads its wings, and we even have a little bonus here. Should we do the bonus? One toe just comes out and taps the ground. Oh, that's fancy. Catch the moon. Oh my goodness, we only have time for one more moon dance because the music has run out. What are we going to do? Let's come back with a big hug. See, I just could have gone on and on with you. One last time, sinking the chi. And then this foot returns. And on a Tuesday morning, thank you. Come on back in, have a seat. Doom, doom, doom. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let me do this thing here. There we go. Kaboom! Hey, that was fancy. That was lovely. That was gorgeous. What do you think? All you beautiful people. Nice. Good morning. Yes, that's a wake up, ain't it? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I just had my rotator cuff arthroscopically repaired, So do I get extra credit for doing this?
You get extra credit for being here with a newly repaired knee. Yes,
Shoulder.
shoulder. The shoulder is the knee of the elbow is the knee of the upper body. The shoulder is something else. This is the shoulder. But no, fantastic. Yes, this is. So if you were to go, by the way, how long has it been since you had your surgery?
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday. Okay, so not for nothing. Take it easy. Just saying.
Okay.
Always consult with your doctor and physical therapist because that keeps us out of trouble. Just saying. But when you start going to your physical therapist and he starts giving you exercises, this is exactly the kinds of things that he will want you to do. Gentle but continuous, moving within your own range of motion and just having some fun with it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here.
Very interesting. Yeah, it was very interesting moving with just one wing.
With just one wing.
It kind of made me somatically more aware. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So our brains are wired. By the way, I know that I haven't got Kenny on the screen there, so you don't know who's talking. It's my ventriloquism act I'm just doing here, throwing my voice. So our brains are wired for bilateral movement. In other words, there's supposed to be a certain kind of symmetry in the body, and the brain is usually connected to both sides. It collects sensory information from both sides, even if you're only going to use one side only. But then signals go the other way as well, and so it takes all that information, and even if you're only using one side, it's still sending signals to the other side. So it's strengthening you even when you're only using one wing. And that's all the science I'm giving you today. That's it. I'm sorry, no more. We only got a couple of minutes here. I have a quick announcement to make. Not really one announcement and one reminder. The reminder is that the Tuesday Morning Flow Show that I am leading is now only every other week. So this is a good week, right? So I will see you in 2 weeks for me being at the Tuesday Morning Flow Show. But hold on to your hats. There are tons and tons of other people doing flow shows all throughout the week. And you should go check them out if you haven't already done so. And the place to find out who and what and when and where and why and how is at the website, taichifit.net, up at the top where it says Flow Show Calendar. Click on the button, and it will tell you all the other flow shows happening across the week. And I'm serious, for 10 seconds. You should check them out and go and sample some other flow shows because there are some really fabulous teachers who are now out there sharing what they have learned with y'all. So go see them. And tell a friend. This is a big important part. I know that you know, so you're going to come anyway, but tell a friend. Share this with somebody else because they may fall in love with it too. The other announcement, very soon, not yet, not today, but very, very soon, we're going to be sending out messages for the next Tai Chi Fit Foundations class. What is this? Is April. So there would be the May class, which is the Guide to Mindfulness. Guide to Mindfulness course, 4 weeks, 8 sessions of deeply experiencing what relaxation feels like, understanding the concept of letting the memory, the ghost, the shadow of your memory of your authentic self, like what it's like to be. There's an old Zen koan, which are sort of riddles that are meant to shock you out of your ego mind and bring you to an awakening. And it says, what was the shape of my face before I was born? What was the shape of your face before your parents were born? And this is the Zen koan. And because theoretically there was a you before your physical existence, and there is still the shadow of the memory of what that consciousness is like. And mindfulness is about catching hold of that memory and letting it shine the light on your daily life. Like, oh, all this stuff that I thought was so important is really just a bunch of BS. And there's just something else that's really more real. And so that's what mindfulness. And we're going to talk about all that through this course. Anyway, so that's coming up. Not yet, not today, but soon. So just keep an eye on your email box. Okay. Positive thought for the day. My thought for the day. So today we're going to start off possibly going. Is this something to celebrate? Today is the anniversary of the passing of Kurt Vonnegut, who is a great American author. Wrote a whole lot of really avant-garde books, just really extraordinarily unusual writing style. I really loved him. And one of the books that is most popular of his collection is Slaughterhouse-Five. And it is a book that starts out like this. I have become unstuck in time. I have become unstuck in time. And the book is kind of an interesting autobiography in a way. And it jumps all over the place because typically when we think of a book, we read a book, we listen to a story, they're in a linear progression or regression. Like I'm going, all kinds of flashbacks, but I go in a straight line. Whereas this book jumps all over the place because time, according to the theme of this book, is not a linear progression. It's just a thing. It's just an idea. And you can bounce all over the place inside of it. Right? Now, it reminds me of this famous quote by Søren Kierkegaard. It says, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So you're living all your life not understanding. But what if that wasn't true? What if you didn't have to only live it forwards? What if you could be unstuck in that linear time? What if you could bounce all over the place and think about, experience what it's like 20 years from now, experience what it's like 50 years ago, right? It would shine a light on the meaning of all the events of your lives. Well, here's the thing. In the flow state, time, you become unstuck in it. It no longer traps you in a linear progression. You can go backwards, you can go forwards, because it doesn't mean anything inside of flow. And what that gives you is, like Billy Pilgrim in Slaughterhouse-Five, you begin to understand the things that really have meaning and the things that don't. Sometimes the things that happen to us, we think, oh my God, that's just, you attach such meaning to it that it just makes your whole life different. We may discover down the road that singular event had no real meaning at all. We missed the real meaning of the event in the quality of the people, perhaps, that we were sharing it with. That was the important part. So sometime today, something will happen, and you'll think it's really important. You'll think it's really significant. You'll think it's something that you should pay attention to and take meaning from, right? And what I invite you to do is go, well, what would it be like if I was unstuck in time? And what I was really doing is remembering something from a point of view 50 years from now. And you might look back and go, God, that didn't mean jack. That was meaningless entirely. Become unstuck in time, my friends. And if that's hard to do, just wrap your brain around, then all you got to do is come to the Tuesday Morning Flow Show, get into flow, and that will help you. Anyway, that's my thought for the day, my invitation to you. Thank you for being here. I love you guys. Some of you I will see in about an hour. And the rest of you I'll see in 2 weeks. Be well.